In a world where comfort is king, doing hard things and celebrating overcoming hardships are often forgotten. But history teaches us that humanity has progressed in the times of resistance. Humanity has progressed when challenging the status quo, when achieving the impossible. Why is that the case? Let's dive in and learn. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Raheel. I'm an entrepreneur and a product leader based out of Dubai. March was a good recovery month. My parents were visiting. I got to travel a lot. I got to complete a lot of my pending tasks. So we're back at it. In this video, I want to share why doing the hard things is the right way to go and why it builds character and why it's essential for the growth of humanity. So let's start. There's a special attraction to working on hard problems. We as humans, we need challenge. We need inspirational problems. We need challenging problems to solve to fulfill our purpose in life. Without hard problems, without challenges, our growth stifles. This reminds me of John F. Kennedy's 1962 speech that changed the fate of humanity and changed my life. Let's have a look.
We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win, and the others too.
It was a beautiful call to action. It was an acceptance of a choice, of a calling, so inherently powerful that it pushed the limits of humanity to achieve something unthinkable, landing on the moon. That was a start to something even bigger, and today we have countless examples. We have Thomas Edison not giving up until he made that final bulb work. We have Elon Musk, who brought Tesla back from the brink of bankruptcy to lead the EV revolution and building SpaceX to put humans onto the space and explore the horizons way beyond our Earth. We have a lot of other examples as well. We have people who go into rehab and work hard on themselves to come out clean and drug free. We have countless examples of cancer survivors who go through harsh treatment but they don't give up on themselves. We also have people who work on themselves, especially obese people, who make a conscious choice of eating healthy, working on their health, going to gym every single day, and saying no to unhealthy food just to lose weight and extend their lifespan. These are countless examples from all facets of life of heroes and victors who choose to do the hard thing and came out on top. It's not easy, it is hard, but it is the right thing to do. Over the past few years, I've realized myself getting repelled by working on trivial challenges. Whenever I work on something that I feel is not pushing me to the extent of my skill set or is not really exciting me or not really making me uncomfortable, the force of attraction weakens. But as soon as I find something that is worthy, that is pushing me to my limits, that is making me uncomfortable and anxious, and something that I don't really know about, automatically that becomes a worthy challenge for me to work on. And I think that just taps into how our DNA has been programmed. It has always been about survival, it has always been about thriving in the most difficult circumstances. And so we humans are designed to take on challenges that help us grow. Without that, there's no growth, there's no fun. And I think that is why choosing to work on hard problems is something that we are destined to do. But I've also seen that working on hard problems not only exponentially increases your growth levels, but they also build your character, right? You become more resilient. You become, you are not wavered by some small little challenges or hardships that come through your way. Your pain threshold increases exponentially, and that is what makes you strong, and that is what makes you a much better human being. Here's entrepreneur and writer Nat Eliason talking beautifully about why hardships are so important in life. The ability to do hard things is perhaps the most useful ability you can foster in yourself or your children. And proof that you are someone who can do them is one of the most useful assets you can have on your life resume. Our self image is composed of historical evidence of our abilities. The more hard things you push yourself to do, the more competent you will see yourself to be. If you can run marathons or throw double your body weight over your head, the sleep deprivation from a newborn is only a mild irritant. If you can excel at organic chemistry or econometrics, onboarding for a new finance job will be a breeze. But if we avoid hard things, anything mildly challenging will seem unsurmountable. We'll cry into TikTok over an errand period at the end of a text message. We'll see ourselves as incapable of learning new skills, taking on new careers, and escaping bad situations. The proof that you can do hard things is one of the most powerful gifts you can give yourself. So now the question is, how do you convince yourself to go seek or have the threshold to doing hard things? Well, in my personal life, I found four things to be very useful. Number one, I actively seek out growth opportunities that challenge my beliefs and that expose me to something new. For example, every single month, I have a goal of learning a new skill. It might be in any industry, it might be in any aspect of life. It might be a physical labor or it might be something related to software. But it has to be something new that I have no idea about. And then I also try to go have conversations of about with people that do not share the same worldview as I do, and I really try to understand where they're coming from. By putting myself in situations where I get to feel uncomfortable, where I get to challenge my own thoughts, that is something that I seek proactively. And I found that as a good primer for yourself, for setting up yourself to doing hard things in life. The second thing that I found really useful is thinking long term. Whenever I find some problem to solve or a challenge to solve, I always think about solving it in the long run. I do not look for shortcuts in life because I've found that thinking about shortcuts, thinking about hacks in life, they work to a certain extent and they work on a short term basis, but over the long run, they always hurt you because they're not sustainable. So when you're solving difficult problems, you have to be in the long run because difficult things require a lot of consistent effort. Think of it as a marathon, right? You can sprint all you want, but when you're running a marathon, you need to have the stamina, you need to be prepared, you need to be prepared mentally to go the long haul. And if you are not prepared, then you'll most probably fail. If you try to find a shortcut, you'll most probably fail. So thinking long-term horizon just takes away that anxiety. It takes away the discomfort that comes with, oh, what am I going to do? So I think thinking long-term and making a long-term plan, I think that always works for me. Then number three that works for me is building systems. One of the best books that I ever read was Atomic Habits by James Clear. And there he talks about the importance of setting up systems to build habits. Systems take away the guesswork, they take away all the manual labor that goes into it, and automatically the power of how good your systems are, that would eventually determine the quality of output at the end of kind of like your goal journey. So building systems, there could be around habits, they could be around feedback, they could be around your new skills that you want to learn. So build these systems to keep yourself accountable and to make sure that you don't lose sight of the actual thing. And finally, mentally learning to take the pain. So, what I consciously do now is I seek out uncomfortable situations. For example, I am not a big fan of cold calling. I'm not a big fan of cold emailing. I'm not a big fan of just randomly stepping up to people and striking up a conversation. But these are important interpersonal skills to have. So every now and then I'll pick up the phone and I'll call someone random. Of course, I'll have done my research before, but the chance of like talking to someone, randomly picking up the phone, cold calling for a business deal, or maybe going up to someone, striking up a conversation, and just learning new stuff, it puts you in difficult situations, but it also helps you build interpersonal skills. And in terms of difficult tasks, so for example, in the gym, I would rather, pick up weights that I've not picked up before. I would push myself to go the extra mile, 1 kg extra, 2 kg extra. Let's try 5 kg extra. Just push yourself a little bit every single day, and that just builds character. So seeking out pain and mentally preparing yourself that pain is good, it's going to be okay, it just makes life so much easier. So there you have it, guys. In this video we learned how doing hard things is actually not bad for you. Suffering, hardships, they're not bad for you. In fact, it's the opposite. The more you're used to solving difficult problems, the more hardships you face in your life, the more resilient you become. And if you find yourself getting too comfortable and you find yourself getting anxious and thinking about what am I doing with my life, that's because you've stopped challenging yourself. So you need to get up, you need to go figure out those difficult things, difficult conversations that you have been just avoiding, and go have them. Tackle them head on, because that is what is going to build your character and give you your purpose back. Here's an interview clip of Jensen Huang, who's the CEO of NVIDIA, and just listen to what he wishes on other people. Have a good one.
One of my great advantages is that I have very low expectations, and I mean that. Most of the Stanford graduates have very high expectations. You deserve to have high expectations because you came from a great school. You were very successful. You're at the top of your class. Obviously, you were able to pay for tuition, and then you're graduating from one of the finest institutions on the planet. You're surrounded by other kids that are just incredible. You naturally have very high expectations. People with very high expectations have very low resilience. And unfortunately, resilience matters in success. I don't know how to teach it to you except for I hope suffering happens to you. And I was fortunate that I grew up with my parents providing a condition for us to be successful on the one hand, but there were plenty of opportunities for setbacks and suffering. And to this day, I use the phrase pain and suffering inside our company with great glee. And I mean that. Boy, this is going to cause a lot of pain and suffering. And I mean that in a happy way, because you want to refine the character of your company. You want greatness out of them. And greatness is not intelligence. Greatness comes from character, and character is informed out of smart people. It's formed out of people who suffered. And so that's it. And so if I could wish upon you, I don't know how to do it. For all of you Stanford students, I wish upon you ample doses of pain and suffering.